Hi guys, welcome back to Ranching with Rebecca. Today we're here with another lesson with Poncho. Today I decided to actually get on him and try to ride him. So we just started out with lunging. He was super hyper. He gets hyper really fast in a stall right now with all the supplements and high quality feed I'm giving him to gain weight. It just gets a lot of energy on him. So we have to lunge him for a little while first, and then we will move on to like the real part of the lesson. So it's a big day because I haven't rode him in a while. It's been a little while since I've actually rode him because he hurt his ankle, and then we had a really big snow, so there hasn't been a whole lot of time I was able to work with him the last 2 weeks, really. So we're finally getting back into it, and I've been working with him every day for half a week now, and today I decided it was time to get on him again. We ended up taking a break for a second from the lunging to play with Piney. This is a game I used to play with her when she was a little tiny puppy, and we haven't done it in a while, and she just absolutely loves it. I was surprised when she came into the round pen because she normally doesn't come into the round pen. She listens very well, and if I tell her not to come in, she doesn't come in. But she was very hyper today, so I decided to take a break and let her play with us. So this might sound scary to some of you guys, but just know I'm not hitting Poncho with this whip. If you hear the cracking sound or like it's cutting through the air, I'm desensitizing Poncho to it because he was being scared of it. So he needs to be able to trust me and know that it's not a tool that I'm going to use to hurt him. It's just a tool for me to use as an extension of my arm so he can understand what I'm asking better. In some situations. Some situations I don't need it, but there are situations where I like to use them and it makes it easier. So I just needed to gain his trust a little more with it and let him know that it's not going to hurt him. I started the video too late, but so this is after I already got him to calm down. He was being real spooky about it. And trying to take off and rearing up and getting all stressed out about it. So here you can see he's finally calm with it and it doesn't scare him. As you can see now, if you compare this to the beginning of the video, he's lunging much calmer now. He's at a walk or a nice loose trot, whereas before he was trying to take off at a canter. He's not scared of that whip anymore, and we've gotten a lot of that energy out that he had before. So this is where he is ready to move on to the next part of the lesson. He's being a little sticky about going when I ask, so I needed to lunge him a little longer. But he is ready to move on to the next part of the lesson now that he's calmed down. By now, you probably are starting to see my routine. So after I've lunged him, I just move into warming his brain up. So here I'm doing the flexing and I'm going to start yielding his hips, making him back up, just kind of getting all those controls in his mind, fresh in his mind, into where he's like listening to me well. So here I'm trying to get his front end to get over without taking a step back. So I want his front leg to cross over his other one and just take one good step away from me. So as soon as he does that, I will release. Right there, he did a little step to the side, but I want him to take the full crossing his ankles over and then stepping. So I'm not going to release any pressure until I get the exact outcome I want. As you can see, after he figured out the first direction and I released when he did it exactly how I wanted, the second direction went a lot smoother and he knew what I wanted right away. So it's all about timing and it's all about sticking with it until you get what you want. Here I'm just going to lay my weight over his back. This way I have an easy way to get down if he reacts poorly and tries to take off or buck or anything. I can just hop off really fast and I can see how he's going to react to holding my weight. So here he obviously doesn't care at all. I don't want to do this for too long because it's a little harder on them since I'm kind of weighing one side down. I try to get my weight as much in the center of his back as I can, but I have half my body hanging off. So we don't do it for too long. It's just a way to see how he's going to react to me getting on his back, and so that way he can kind of prepare for me getting on him. So now that he's nice and warmed up, it's time to get on him. Before you get on your horse, the beginning part of your lesson and warming them up is so important. Just the first few moments can set the tone for the whole lesson. So you want to make sure that you have them in the right mindset before you get on them for the first time. If they're not in the right mindset, then this would go very poorly and they would most likely be scared, and that could lead to bucking or to just creating bad habits and anxiety about you getting on. So I spent a long time just focusing on him, getting warmed up, not rushing. You never want to rush. If you're trying to get a lesson done fast, it's always going to take longer than you think because that mindset kind of goes over to the horse and creates like some anxiety about getting stuff done in a certain amount of time. So you just need to be able to take your time, not worry about how long it's going to take, and just make sure you get them ready. So that way you're safe and he or she, if you're working with a mare, correlates getting rode with a good mindset and not with being scared. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Sorry, back up. Good. Did you see him hear me before I actually even did it? Telling him and he started getting ready for it. I'm getting off. So. When you're first starting out a horse, it's always good to back them up and to get on and off a few times before you ever take your first step. This teaches them to stand when you're mounting them and not to feel like they need to rush off when you get on them. So it's a good thing, especially when you're first starting out a horse, but even when you have a broke horse, it's always good to make them back up before you go forward. You can get into a lot of trouble if your horse starts taking off with you when you're trying to mount. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to get him riding on trails. He's gonna be fun. Once I get him past anything that I'm having. chill. I never know.
Mm-hmm.
He's started to seem to act better under saddle than I expected.
I think he's gonna be just a good boy.
He's so sweet. He's like very loving. He's just got energy, so it's not like he's lazy.
Well, maybe once you're able to start riding him, like on trail rides,
he's so soft on everything. It's like crazy. Okay, walk. Now, leave me close. Like, you're just leaving me on, like leaving me on or something. Okay, and loosen up that movement. Walk up. Doesn't really know how to steer yet. So Poncho's biggest issues, you could say right now with me getting on him, is that he doesn't know how to steer and he doesn't have much patience about it. So he can get angry after a little while of me like pushing him. He does not get scared about me being on his back. It's when I'm trying to take control and trying to make him listen that he can get frustrated sometimes. So that's very normal. It's just a learning curve you have to get over when you're training a horse. There's going to be a lot of things that he finds frustrating at first and just takes some time to get over. So if you see him flicking his nose like that and shaking his head, it's just because he doesn't know yet. He doesn't know how to do it yet. He doesn't know how to hold the bit in his mouth right, and he doesn't know how to steer yet. So it just all takes time. It doesn't mean that this is a bad bit for his mouth. It doesn't mean that he's hurt or anything. He's just learning still. Unfortunately, our lesson got cut kind of short today, so we're just about done. We had some visitors come out to look at this horse, so we just ended up stopping with Poncho so that way we weren't in the way or making the other horse whinny and squeal about another horse being in the barn. So I was going to try to ride him maybe without Bryce or without anyone leading a rope today, but since that happened, we just kind of let him around a little bit and let him get used to me again and just stop after that. So he did very well, and it was a good lesson, even though I didn't get to do everything I wanted to. He did well with me getting on him. He seemed to remember a lot. The only thing he's gone backwards with really is his mouth and with steering. We were finally getting pretty good about it before I took this break. So that's a little disappointing, but we'll get him back to that, to where he was before and past where he was before pretty quickly. So thank you to Bryce for helping me out today. He did very well, and just like Poncho, Bryce is learning too. He's never done any of this stuff. So Bryce did amazing in today's video and helping me with this. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.